Alright, I'm gonna review this movie, but first off I gotta go eat. I'm hungry. Too Fast, Too Furious. It stars Paul Walker, Tyrese Gibson, Eva Mendes, Cole Hauser, Ludacris, Ludy Lou, and who else? That's kind of it, basically. There's, what's her name? Devon Aoki, whatever. She played Miho from the first Sin City. That's what I know her from. And it's directed by John Singleton, director of Boys in the Hood. So this is going to be even better than the first one, right? It's going to be even more crime, gritty. It's going to be like a gangster film with cars in it. Not quite. Now, the first Fast and Furious movie, it was Point Break with cars, but it was still, in its own way, very unique. And this cool underground street racing culture is cool. There was a very memorable action sequence. I like the characters and story. In this movie, Brian O'Connor, played by Paul Walker, his undercover cop character, after the events of the first movie, he's on the run from the cops, and he's off in Miami, Florida, and he ends up getting captured, and they're like, you can go to jail, or you can help us. We gotta catch this drug dealer, played by Cole Hauser. And so Paul Walker's like, okay, but I need my partner in on this. I need an old friend to help me out. And if it was back in 2003, you'd be thinking, Vin Diesel? But it's actually Roman Pierce, played by Tyrese Gibson, an old friend of Brian O'Connor. And so he's gonna get him, like, clear his name. They'll get their records clear as long as they help the cops catch this bad drug dealer guy who's bad. And yeah, there's also Eva Mendes as another undercover cop that's basically just living with him and being a very poor cop. She's been there almost a whole year and she hasn't got any evidence or anything to put him away. Really, she's very bad at her job. And also Ludacris is in here as one of Brian's friends. You got some more racing, even flashier colors. It's Miami, a lot of rap music, neon lights everywhere. It's like Batman and Robin for cars because all the cars are very colorful, flashy. This movie's gonna push your TV to its limits with all the HD neon going on. And yeah, this movie's pretty dumb. Yeah, this movie, it's no surprise. There's really very little about it that's good to say. I mean, this movie, for me, I remember it more fondly than when I actually watch it. I watch it, I'm like, this is terrible. But I still like it for the reason that I saw this when I was like 12 or 13. I don't know, I was skipping school or something. I went home from school early. I don't know what I was doing, actually. I grabbed the VHS. I'm like, I've never seen this. I popped it in and watched it. Yeah, I watched the VHS in like, what was it, 2009? Something like that? I don't know. I didn't even have the DVD of it. But I watched it, I was like, yeah! 12, 13-year-old me thought it was awesome. And I watched it ever since. I've watched it so many times, I couldn't even count. And so I've grown up. It's got a little place in my heart, a little bit of nostalgia, even though I can still admit this movie is terrible, it's ridiculous, and dumb. It's just dumb. It's so horribly written. Brian O'Connor, he's on the run. He's a badass now. Apparently he's like the best racer ever. In the first movie, him and Vin Diesel was like, yeah, it's sort of a mentor thing where they're almost as good. Vin Diesel's still better. But now Paul Walker's character in this one is just like car Jesus. He can do anything. He's so fantastic at driving. And yeah, he's in Miami, hanging out with Ludacris, who's actually very good in this, actually. The power throw, first off, that he starts the movie off with is just, he probably parks his car in his hair. It's so big. But yeah, I actually thought he was very good for like a rapper just coming into the movie. I don't know if he had any other acting experience, but he was good. And something I noticed also, in these movies, they get rappers in the movies to play small roles and they use their music. And it's not necessarily as bad as like Chappie, where Diane Ward's a major role and all the music is Diane Ward. This is like the first movie, Ja Rule played a very small role. Menage, like one of the first racers. Come on, Menage, and they had a couple Ja Rule songs. This one, Ludacris is a more main character, and they used like one or two of his songs. No biggie. It's not like completely whorishness like Chappie was. Same thing with Tyrese. They got one of his songs in here, and Tyrese. He gets better, but in this movie he's not that great. He's kind of wooden, but at the same time he's got attitude. He's entertaining to watch, even if it is kind of because he's bad, but he's entertaining. I enjoy him. But there is like the biggest problem with his character, because once you notice, you won't stop noticing. You're watching and count how many times he goes, bruh, Brian, we in trouble, bruh. It's just, he says it so much, it's ridiculous. Like if you had a counter going off in the corner, it would get up in the triple digits, I think. And Paul Walker, I liked him in the first one. Thought he was a good sort of Keanu type performance from Point Break. But this one, it's the same character, but they've amped up some of the douchey qualities of him, because I liked him in the first one. This one, I like him, but there's some things about him that are kind of annoying. He's kind of a douchebag a couple times. Him and Roman Pierce aren't exactly friends, but it's just cocky. They made him car Jesus, and so he can do whatever the hell he wants. They're in a race, a serious, like, intense action sequence. People have already died. A guy got stuck under between two semis, got put under one and ran over and crushed. People are dying. In the middle of it, he's swerving around, going backwards, giving Tyrese the finger and stuff. It's like, dude, that's dumb. Don't do that. It's cool, but don't do that. Not in this life and death situation. They made him a little bit too good. He's too perfect to the point where it kind of makes it like, yeah, and then he'll do this. He can do whatever the hell he wants. He can drive while not even looking at the road. He is basically car Jesus in this movie. He's perfect in every way. And yeah, I like the performance enough, I guess, but it's not nearly as good as the first movie. He kind of went down in acting quality in this one. But everything in this movie is down in quality. The direction, it feels very similar to how Rob Cohen made the first one. A lot of similar things with how they filmed the races. There's some different things. This one doesn't have a silly slow motion sequence with really, that was terrible in the first movie actually. This one's alright, but at times there's really some poor decisions, like this is the scene, Cole Hauser, who is a poor bad guy. He's a terrible villain. He's kind of menacing. There's one memorable scene. He's got a bucket on Mark Boone Jr. from Sons of Anarchy and Batman Begins. He's burning it and a rat's digging into him. It's like, that's intense. I remembered that. But the rest of him, every other scene, he's not menacing. He's very forgettable. But there's a scene where he's talking to Eva Mendes, Paul Walker, and Tyrese. And the staging of the scene's so terrible. They're in his backyard and there's a sprinkler going off and it looks like water shooting out of his ear. And it just, I'll show you a picture because it looks so dumb watching the movie. That's, once you notice it in the movie, it's like, that's every time you watch the movie, you're just like, where's the sprinkler scene? I want to see it. It's so dumb. And this movie also, there's some things like the races. The races also, what I like about this is not all drag races. Not just, okay, 10 seconds and it's done or whatever. They're different type of races going all over the place, jumping off bridges. So there's some cool action, you know. It's not all that memorable, but it's cool. There's one scene though, there's a drag race. They're racing Fonzie and Fabio. And Paul Walker's driving at Fonzie to kind of throw him off because they're doing like chicken. And basically the cars look like they're about this close. And then they spend another 20 seconds of like showing the cars coming at each other and zoom up on the eyes. Oh, they're getting closer, they're getting closer. They were this far. Are they driving 10 miles an hour? Because it literally takes another 20 seconds of them like, all right, we're gonna, oh, it's getting intense. It's like, they're right here. They're about to, if you played it out properly, it shows them here. And then they would immediately did a swerve or something. But the way they play it out, it's like they might as well have hit each other, reset, hit each other, reset, hit each other, reset, hit each other. In the amount of time it took for them to do that. It's like little things like that. Poorly staged action sequences at times. Paul Walker's kind of bland in this movie, not as good as the first movie. Tyrese kind of bland but memorable. He's entertaining, he's fun. We hungry, like some of the line deliveries are fun. We got James Remar in here, you know, Dexter's dad. I like him even though he doesn't do much. Eva Mendes, not very good. She's attractive but just not a good performance. This movie's a lot more flashy, in your face, a lot of hip hop music and just bright colors, cars, really colorful, flashy looking cars, neon everywhere and stuff. But it's not memorable. They try and make it all this bigger and better, but it's really, the most memorable thing about it is the title, because I actually like it. Too Fast, Too Furious. It works for this movie. It's dumb, but it works. 3 Fast, 3 Furious would have been terrible. The story itself, that's what I really, when I say how dumb it is, the direction, acting stuff is poor, but the story is so stupid. Okay, the guy's hiring them to drive, and the point is he's got money and he's got to get it to him secretly, so hire guys in flashy cars. You couldn't miss them. You'll know them when you see them. And we're gonna get them to drive really fucking fast to bring me my money, my drug money that if I'm caught with, I'm going to jail. I'm living with an agent for like 11 months and she couldn't connect me to the money. Yeah, Eva Mendes is a terrible cop, but I need flashy guys that get a lot of attention to bring me my money. No, you hire like an old lady in a minivan. Okay, gonna slowly go the speed limit, bring it to you, no one will suspect me, old woman in a minivan, something like that. No, we need the fastest, most flashy attention getting people to bring me my money. That's pretty stupid when you think about it. It's like he knew how the movie would go. He read the script, he's like, well, they're gonna get chased by the cops, so I need them to be fast. So yeah, Too Fast, Too Furious is too dumb to believe. That was stupid. But in a way, it's got a little bit of, it's in my heart with nostalgia, and as a dumb, silly movie. It's like the Batman Forever of the Fast and Furious franchise, and I like Batman Forever, even though it's dumb. Yeah, I'd give this movie a C. It's pretty forgettable. It's the worst this franchise will ever get. This is a terrible movie, but I like it kinda anyway. So comment below, tell me what you think of Too Fast, Too Furious, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.